Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today, let's take a look at the last model year for the 7th generation BMW M340i. Huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this sedan for me today. Take a look at their website, that link is down in the description. This 340 is finished off in Vegas Red Metallic. MSRP is just over $68,000. This is powered by the 3-liter inline 6-cylinder turbocharged engine. It's paired to the 8-speed automatic, and it pumps out 386 horsepower, 398 pound-feet of torque. This model here has the xDrive all-wheel drive system, meaning that this 3,900-pound sedan can do 0 to 60 in 4.1 seconds, and with the mDriver Sport package, top speed is increased to 155 miles an hour. Now this has a fuel capacity of 15.6 gallons, and you can expect to see it 26 miles per gallon in the city and 33 out on the highway. This also has a wheelbase of 112.5 inches. Its overall length is 185.9. It has a width of 71.9, a height of 56.4, and its ground clearance measures in at 5.1 inches. Now, as we take a look at the exterior styling, a part of that M Sport Pro package is all of the gloss black accents. So there's the Shadowline package within that. You'll notice that's on the surround for the kidney grille, where there's also a forward-facing camera and active grille shutters behind the grille to provide additional cooling when needed. You'll notice too the dark housing for the LEDs, which break off of that grille very nicely. And then the entire lower section has a lot more cutouts with all the parking sensors too, very large inlets to provide even more cooling, and some nice trim accents finished off in gloss black, of course. And then there's a few crisp lines coming down the hood to finish it off nicely. Now this model also has some gloss black wheels along with the blue M Sport brakes. You'll notice M Performance is down on the door sill, where there's also an extension too, finished off in gloss black. So you'll notice that sticks out just a little bit. Now there's more gloss black for the power folding side mirrors, which have a camera and a turn signal. It's on all of the window trim, and it's also on the sunroof there. So this does have that option. As we take a step back, very nice lines that run down the side, some crisp edges just to give it a classy look. And then this has a small gloss black spoiler. There's a backup camera, LEDs for all of the lighting, and then there's sensors and some more gloss black for that diffuser, and then the dual exhaust. Now you can use the button on the key fob or the one up underneath to open up the cargo space, where this actually has a good bit of space. Now there's no storage underneath the floor, but you have some bins on both sides, and then you can also fold down these back seats to get in a lot more space, and there's also some tie downs too, so that way you can secure any items. And then there's 2 buttons up top where you can close the trunk or lock the vehicle. Now if you do lock the vehicle, this has proximity door handles, so you can grab any door handle and lock in and unlock this vehicle. Now this has a really nice design for the interior. There's Harman Kardon for the audio, ambient lighting with all the brushed aluminum accents, and then the black leather for these seats. And at 5'10", hopping into the back, it's not all that bad. You do get a good bit of legroom. There's vents in the middle, temperature adjustments, and some auxiliaries. And at my height, I have maybe a ½ inch or so of headroom, so I could ride around town, maybe go on a short road trip. It is spacious for adults to be in the back. It is a little bit on that small side, so just keep that in mind. There are some larger BMW sedans if you need even more backseat space. But you have the armrest and cup holders, and then you can also fold down this middle seat if needed. And then you have some pretty thin pillars to easily be able to see over both pillars there, of course. Now up front, this has memory seating adjustments, all of your controls to go over, even a trunk release, and more storage down below. And then automatic seats with a great design to them, and you have 1 manual support for the leg extension down below. It's also a low sedan with a small door sill there, so it's easy to enter and exit. But let's start this up and take a listen to how this sounds. And coming back to the gauge cluster now, you'll see on the left side there's miles per hour, on the right side there's the tach, and then the lower section is fixed, so you will always see that information. Now you can go through some more info using this button right in the middle, where you can get into content and pull up all of this information as needed. You can also change the layout too. So if we go into the navigation, you can pull it up in a few different ways, just depending on how you want to view it. Won't change all that much, but it is nice to have those. And then the last one is for the head-up display, where you can bring up a few settings as needed. Now you'll notice there's volume tuning, Bluetooth and voice commands, paddle shifters on both sides, and then cruise control settings on the left. Now there's also the headlight adjustments. You have 1 air vent, And then with the infotainment system, everything in the lower section is going to be fixed. So it makes it very quick to get into all this info. And you do have shortcuts down below, which is even more beneficial. Now this model has Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, you have your climates, driving settings to go into, quite a lot that you can monitor. The home screen has this split view where you can look at info on this left side and you can pull up different information on that right side as well. You have a shortcut into your climates, your navigation and music, and then this has heated seats, a heated steering wheel, and temperature adjustments. There's carbon fiber trim accents, which is an option. Hopefully you can see blue for the ambient lighting at the moment. There's vents underneath that, volume tuning, and defrosters. There's also wireless charging with cup holders and auxiliaries, and you can hide those away with more carbon fiber. You have all of those shortcuts for the infotainment system, and then you can push the shifter forwards to put the vehicle into reverse. You have automatic parking, backup assistance, and then the 360 view. So that way you have no shortage of visibility. You'll notice too, attention to detail, blue calipers, red car. Very nice to see that. There's also drive and sport mode, which allows you to use the paddle shifters and then park behind that. This also has a shortcut to the forward-facing camera, so you can bring that up in full screen. And then there's traction control, parking sensors, engine start-stop, and you have a few different driving modes as well. So depending on the throttle response and exhaust note that you would like, you have those to choose from. There's auto hold and the e-brake. You have some storage with an auxiliary, locking glove box with more storage, and then garage door buttons up top, dome lights, and controls for both the sunroof and sunshade, as those are power operating. And then you have a lot of glass, very thin pillars over both shoulders, so it provides you with a lot of visibility from the driver's seat. As we sat up behind the wheel now for the BMW M340i, I've been able to drive these quite a lot. I've also made comparison videos with this against the 330 along with the M3. So if you want to see the whole 3 Series lineup, you can take a look at all of those full review videos. Now, what I want to touch base on with the 340, as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, this is the last model year for the 7th generation M340. So for the 8th generation, from what I have seen, it's all still speculation, of course, but it should be a completely different exterior and interior. We'll see different changes, maybe some hybrid options, some different battery options as well. So it'll be very interesting to see the 8th generation for the M340. From what I've seen with photos, they're still spy photos with all the camo wrapped and everything, so nothing is set in stone, but very excited to see what BMW does for the 8th generation. Now, with the 340, this generation or this model has been out for quite some time, and I think it is a really nice sedan to go with. This is something that is both daily driver friendly and something that has a lot of potential on the tuning side and the modification. So if you're looking for a vehicle where you want to do some parts, we do carry products for the BMW 340 on our website, so you can take a look at that, brosforspeed.com. This is a fantastic vehicle in the stock form, but I have had some friends who have been able to do some fun parts with this vehicle, and it does cost a lot less than the M3. It doesn't have all of the same performance, but it is still a very good M-Light vehicle from BMW. So it's on the smaller size too, so if you're not using your back seats often, maybe you're putting a car seat back there, it'll work. People like myself, I could ride around town. It is on that small side, but it does make it more nimble and just a really good handling sedan. So this has a good amount of tech to it, a lot of performance for it. We can also put it into sport mode, where we do have the paddle shifters. As you heard with the exhaust note there, sounds pretty good already. And the paddles are also very quick. You can also make this a lot louder as well. It sounds good in the stock form, but me personally, I would make it a little bit louder. A lot of the BMW models you can get to pop, and they just have a really good sound to them. It's also very comfortable, good on MPG as well. So again, great for a daily driver, something that you're not looking for that next step up, but you do want a next step up from the 330, right in the middle with the 340i is a great way to go. Now, regarding the 8th generation, it will be interesting to see if BMW does away with this large screen. I doubt it, but I know that's not everyone's taste. Personally, the more I drive these, the more I do like this larger screen. And a big complaint is the shifter. So maybe BMW will go back to a physical shifter rather than this smaller section here. So we'll just have to wait and see. And still in Sport Plus second gear, here we go. Very crisp in the shifts. and then it handles very well. We've gone on some mountain drives with friends in 340s, and it takes these roads very nicely. With the performance, plenty of power to get out of the turns, and with the suspension, it can handle turns well and give you a good daily driving ride as well. So this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for the last model year for this 7th generation. Definitely a nice place to be. I like some of the updates that have been in the previous models. Flat bottom design for the steering wheel was one of them. A few other cosmetics from the refresh when this was redesigned. But definitely a great place to be. Very comfortable too. Seats are really nice. If you opt to go with the M3, you can go with the carbon bucket seats. So some performance aspects like that you will not see in this. Obviously, you're not looking for a track-focused car with the 340. So these seats are very comfortable for a daily driving vehicle. Super easy to see all around too. And a really nice luxury-focused sedan. Now, there are other options out there. My brother has made a lot of comparisons with the 340 and some of the competitors, so you can take a look at those. All good options. I think the BMW is definitely a really good option, however, to put on your list. And you have a lot of different ways that you can spec this vehicle too. So really good family style sedan that also is going to give you some power and performance. That is going to wrap it up for the 7th generation BMW M340i. Once again, a huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this for me today. Take a look at their website, give this video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with our daily uploads. And I will see you all in the next video.